Now may I request our chair for the keynote session, Professor Suranjan to please come to the dais, and our keynote speaker, Professor Projit Bihari Mukherjee, to please come to the dais. So Professor Suranjan does not need any introduction. Just a few words. It is an honor for us to introduce Professor Dash. He is currently the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Adamas University, Kolkata. He is Honorary Director, Netaji Institute for Asian Studies, Kolkata, and is Honorary Visiting Professor at the University of Exeter, United Kingdom. He was former Vice Chancellor of Calcutta University and Jadavpur University, respectively. He has also held visiting assignments at leading international institutions of higher learning and is associated with decision-making bodies in India's higher education system. Professor Projit Bihari Mukherjee, our keynote speaker, is Guggenheim Fellow 2023, Department of History, Ashoka University, Haryana, and Professor of History of Science, University of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. Over to you, sir.
Could I first say a big thank you to my friend Deepak Kumar, my two students Shahar and Shubhabrata, for giving me this honor of presiding over the first seminar of this newly established Society for the History of Science, Kolkata. Let me first take this opportunity of congratulating the founding members of the society for creating the much required platform to bring together social scientists and scientists to discuss the intricacies of the evolution of human society. It is indeed amazing that in the very first session of what Deepak said, the newborn baby, the society could mobilize the support of a whole range of social scientists and scientists from all over the country. And it is indeed a very good beginning, and I wish the society every success. I am particularly struck by the problematic that has been chosen for this seminar. Calcutta, as we know, provided the initial base for the introduction of Western science and technology, which ushered in what we now call colonial modernity in the country. But at the same time, Calcutta emerged as the cornerstone of nationalist science and technology. It is therefore in the fitness of things that the Society for the History of Science in Kolkata is hosting a seminar that proposes to unfold both the colonial past and the post-colonial trends in the history of science, technology, medicine, and environment. I may mention in today's post-colonial India, the history of science has assumed a particular important dimension in the context of recent discourses emphasizing the need to decolonize our mind, where there is a systematic attempt to recover the indigenous knowledge of science and technology which had been stultified by colonialism. Of course, the process of uncovering the Indian knowledge in a manner, in a paradigm which is alternative to Western mode can raise many questions. But I think the practitioners of the history of science cannot shy away from this particular challenge. We certainly look forward to 2 days of intense and fruitful deliberations. May we now move to the next segment of this inaugural session, which is a keynote address by your young friend, Professor Projit Bihari Mukherjee. Projit is perhaps one of the best representatives of the younger generation of scholars who have enriched our understanding of the history of medicine, both from national and global perspectives. Sahara has already introduced Projit. I need not take much time for the introduction, or for another introduction of Projit, who is well known for all practitioners of history of science in India. But what I think is a matter of pride, that Projit is the initial product of Presidency College Kolkata. And therefore again is the fitness of things that he is invited to deliver the keynote address. The theme chosen by Projit for his address is certainly provocative. It is perhaps in the fitness of things that with the current discourse that that the current discourse has shown that unlike other branches of history, history of science has, if I can use the term, an element of activism. For a reading of the history of science not only unravels the understanding of human curiosity and ingenuity, but it also enables us to comprehend how great scientific adventures can go in hand with the challenge to meet certain ethical and moral virtues and goals and ideals. I am here reminded of a very pertinent saying by Bertrand Russell in his famous classic book, The Impact of Science on Society, where he warned us that science was a double-edged sword. It could be used for constructive purpose, it could also be used for destructive purpose. The same scientific knowledge can be used to promote war, but the same scientific knowledge can also be used to promote constructive living in human society. For example, and in this context of unfolding both the destructive and constructive nature of scientific knowledge, the historians of science and technology can play a very important role. For example, by driving home the fact about the misuse and use of nuclear energy, or about how the unmitigated modern economic progress based on the trump of science and technology can lead to natural disasters like climate change. And we do look forward to history of science, to the practitioners of history of science, to unfold these intricacies of scientific development. I also believe that the history of science can also bring together scientists and social scientists to study how the scientific discoveries can be linked to distributive justice. Very often, the discoveries of science can benefit only the microscopic minority of the society. And if the social scientists and scientists can join hands, we can ensure the distributive value, they enhance the distributive justice aspect of the scientific discoveries. For example, India is one of the largest producers of vaccines. But it is also true, a large section of our children are deprived of the basic vaccines that a child requires. Again, there are enough instances to show that a country where agricultural productivity is increasing at record level, in the same country, the number of malnourished and hungry citizens keep on rising. So this dichotomy of science and technological development on one hand and the distributive justice on the other needs to be linked. And I think the practitioners of the history of science can lead us in resolving these dialectics. In other words, the history of science and technology, especially for a country like India, which is on a new takeoff point, has immense possibilities. And again, I believe it's in the fitness of things that Projit has chosen the theme of, as I understand, from ideas to practice towards an object-oriented history of science as a theme of his inaugural address. Projit, please.